I just read Jason's comments right now, and they're making me bust up. My bad, y'all. Um, just here. Anyway, all right, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Nine Faithful. How's everybody doing? I don't think anybody's really doing legendary, but we're gonna go. I see you, Bryant. Go Niners, baby. We're gonna go ahead and break down that preseason game because we have to. But and also like I mean, there's some players that stood out that I'm actually pleasantly surprised about, and also I'm happy because at least we know where the baseline is and where we need to get better. And it's gonna be like, okay, well, did we get better in game 2? You know, it's one game. Literally, I'm actually gonna pull up our results in the preseason, all 5 Super Bowl championships, and they're pretty amazing. Anyway, before we get started with all that, of course, we got to remind y'all to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of the video and podcast. Go to cgiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media. Jason does a bang-up job on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. We are actually getting more active in Twitter, so definitely follow us on Twitter. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. And stay tuned to the end of the show to get your special 10% coupon code for all season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful apparel, exclusively available at NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Couldn't have said it better, Jason. Let's get the show cracking.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
What's cracking, Jason?
What up, man? Just another day in the office.
Another day in paradise, as I always say.
Yeah.
So, look, I mean, we're not even going to get into the score. That ain't just because we lost. You know, honestly, truthfully, I really wasn't mad. Like, there was very little cursing going on this game. You know?
No, I mean,
like
we pretty much talked about how it was going to go down. It kind of went down like that way to an extent, for the most part.
It's like I said in our brief little, few sentences we did before we started. I said, it's like I saw in practice. Pray to God nobody in the O-line gets hurt. I think that's what we
atrocious.
Saw. I mean, they were bro, I hate to say this, but is Jalen Moore any good?
If you go off the Sunday's performance, no. So I mean, if you're going to go, with that's much of a sample size, you can't really say yes.
I mean, it's like I remember the Broncos game. He was garbage. And so, like, I'm not gonna say throw away the tape because obviously it's usable. I mean, look, if the Niners try that team out, both offense and defense, and shit at that point, special teams.
We're going for number 1 draft pick status.
Yeah, baby. Like I mean, and Brock Trayon, our quarterback, and hey, at least we get a number 1 pick. Who's the number 1 quarterback this year?
Probably the kid out of USC. Can't think of his name right now.
Okay, so cool.
Who actually did say if he preferred to go to a team, he did say he wanted to play for the Niners. So I mean that is out there. So I mean, hey, so
I I mean, does Kyle have enough equity? Be like, this is the first year we've got with first round picks. We're going to have to. There's going to be some serious changes to this roster this offseason.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if Parag and company can keep this team intact as it stands now, with everybody getting essentially raises, or at least their cap numbers going skyrocketing, and also not include that with a flux of young cheap draft talent and undrafted free agents, then like fuck John Lynch. Parag should be our GM at that point. Like shit.
I mean, no, I mean, we already know he does miracles with money, and as you say, we are, I don't know how many days into the Nick Bosa holdout at this point, but I mean, it's besides that number, which I have a feeling the number's there. They just haven't signed it. They're just doing some real fine detail. Yeah, he has done some crazy things to keep us under the cap and everything.
Tomorrow would be 3 weeks.
So we are in day 20.
If you count the official first day of the holdout being report day for camp, it's 3 weeks tomorrow. I mean,
tomorrow will be day 21 of the hostage crisis. Is that what we'll start calling it?
I mean, the hostage. I mean, do we start like? To me, this is what is making me. I'm not going to say panicking. Now, of course, what's John Lynch going to say? Yeah, we're miles apart, and we don't think we can get this done before the season. And Nick may walk, or we're going to have to franchise tag him. I mean, really, realistically, what is he supposed to say?
Yeah, exactly.
But this is where, because now I'm not looking at it, not like I'm not in the frame of mind of it won't get done, that I think Nick Bosa will not be a Niner long term. I have zero concern about that. Yeah. My not concern, I can't think of the right word, but my level of curiosity, for lack of a better word, is, well, then what is it? Because to me, it seems very simple. You make him the highest defensive played. I mean, because what is the Niners' leverage here? We all know he's the best player, 2019 Rookie of the Year. 2020 gets hurt the second game of the year. 2021, look, there are people that will argue he should have won, defensive MVP that year. At least comeback player of the year in 2021. Yeah. 2022, defensive player of the year, defensive MVP, as I like to call it. What is the Niners' leverage? I don't understand. It's very simple. Highest paid, highest guaranteed. I don't understand what they could be arguing over. Unless Nick is being unreasonable and saying, I want 45 a year or whatever, then that's fine. But
I think if you realistic,
they would have to say something.
Yeah, if he's being completely unreasonable, saying I want 45 a year, I think at that point you leverage him by just coming out and be like, hey, we haven't signed him because the man says he wants 45. That way, at the very least, that puts the pressure on Team Bosa to do whatever.
Exactly.
Because I don't think any team in the league is going to. Yeah, I don't think any, at least maybe in 4 or 5 years, depending on how the cap goes.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you're not going to pay even the top defensive end $45 million. So, like I said, if it's that being that unrealistic, I would just come out and be like, hey, look, he wants this much money, we ain't going to give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, because then you put like you said, you put the pressure on him.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, how much does Bosa, really want fan support and all that? And okay, but I mean, you've got to put it on to him. Look, we have offered him.
What up, Bebop? Bang, bang, brother.
Bang, bang, bro. So I'm just curious of what could it possibly be. I don't believe it's the desire of the Niners not wanting to make Nick Bosa a long-term Niner. I believe
we all know that's there.
I don't believe he doesn't want to not be here, because then at that point we're talking about practice.
We are talking about practice.
Look, I mean, could Nick Bosa show up first Monday game week and be ready to rock and roll at full strength? No, I don't believe it. Now, what is 90%
85?
Well, okay, so what is the 85% of Nick Bosa is still a damn great player? Probably still a player good enough to compete.
He's probably
for
still a
defensive
top
player
at
of the year.
85%. He's probably still a top 10 at the very least defensive end.
So I mean, I get it. P. Pop Jones is the count. But it's, I mean, really, Bosa doesn't play. I'm not concerned about Bosa missing preseason because Bosa doesn't play in the preseason. So, I don't understand what's holding it up. And that's what I would be curious about. Now, John Lynch already came out and said, look, we're not going to make this public and everything like that. Okay, fine.
Unless it's unreasonable.
You know what, truthfully, I think happened? And sure, I don't mean to divide our listeners, but I heard it from Grant Cohn. I'd like to be honest and transparent here on the show and let y'all know where I get my information when possible. Or at least I always let Jason know where I get it. But I got it from Grant Cohn, and he said John Lynch's press conference was scheduled and then got changed to, I believe it was like an hour later, 45 minutes later, or whatever. And he said, I believe they thought Nick Bosa was going to be signed, sealed, and delivered, and that was going to be the Bosa press conference. And then they couldn't just cancel it, so he kind of had to stand there with the thumb up his ass and kind of be like, yeah, so I'm not here to talk about Bosa, but let me just get out what I'm willing to say right off the gate. Took a couple quick questions about Bosa, and fine, he handled it well. I'm not saying that John Lynch looked like a fool or anything like that. He handled it very well. I think this is, you're seeing the way he handled that press conference. I think you're seeing one of the reasons why he said, I love the necklace Niner smash. Yeah, Jason has some dope necklaces. And there was some shit at the team store, brother. I think you're going to love if you get out here this year.
Thank you, brother.
Or I might have to cop some for you. But anyway,
I got 2 more Niner shirts coming. I don't know if I've shown you this one yet.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I've seen that one. Hey, actually, you know what, bro? I got a little something. So next time I take an Amazon order, I got a little something for you. It's a little, like, not a rocks glass, but about like a little bit bigger. You feel me? But when you see it, you're gonna laugh. When you see it, you're gonna laugh. Anyway, so I don't know what the holdup is. I would assume I'm gonna just get this out the way, and then Jason, I'll let you give your statements. Look, until we get into, I would like to say the week of the last preseason game. Not that Bosa's going to play in that game, but you would like him to have that initial break between the last preseason game and the regular season. I want Nick Bosa, using that time to get into football shape, practicing with his teammates, getting used to working with Javon Hargrave. You feel me? Getting used to Steve Wilkes' defense. Although it's not going to change much for him because, let's be real, Kasaric is going to do what Kasaric does.
Yeah.
Jason, when would you start to panic?
Week 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go back to the Raiders.
Yeah, right. So, my number one thing that I won't say is concerning but alarming was how easily they just went right up the gut against us on D over and over and over and over. Like, we had no answer.
No. And one thing I noticed was that, obviously I haven't been to practice, but I heard all these people that about Kinlaw was staying low, getting, pushing people around, all this kind of stuff. I mean, I think you even said it for the couple of times that you've been to practice. I saw him do was just stand up and get pushed around. There was a couple of times where he would get through the line, and they were just letting him through, but then he was just kind of shuffle in the middle, like he had no idea what he was going or what he was doing. So it's like the whole defense in general, besides a couple of people, or let me rephrase that, the front 4 looked atrocious.
Oh, atrocious.
So there's that, and I just want to know where all that hype up Javon Kinlaw was, because I was really looking forward to it, because I've been big on Kinlaw. especially through all the Grant Cohn thing and everything like that. And I still stand by Kinlaw, and I was getting real, saw all this praise for him, and then it looks like it's good in practice, real. But it's not transferring over to games, which is kind of worrisome. So, yeah, that to me was one of the biggest downsides to Sunday's game.
I just felt like the bad of practice, like perfect example, Cameron Lawton. Perfect example.
He's on my list too.
What have you been seeing? For those who follow us on social media, you already saw Jason's list, and mine's pretty much the same. I can pull up the Facebook message we had. But Cameron Latu, problem holding on to the football. What does he do? One catch, bruh. Literally one catch. Instantly. Dude. I mean, he must have took like literally just the 2 steps to catch.
I'd say he can't catch a break, but he probably dropped the fucking thing.
I'm just saying, bruh.
I mean, it's just like, fuck, dude. You get your one chance and then you fumble the damn thing. It's like, come on, man. Oh, and I don't know if you see me tweet this out or whatever. He is proving the point that Polynesian people cannot play skill fucking positions, man.
I'm just saying.
We are regulated to defense and line from now. The way that dude is playing right now.
I'm just saying, like, hey, bro, you might want to get there with Chris Sarek, cuz.
Yeah. Yeah. Can he go back to defensive end? Because that's what he started with.
I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I was lightweight faded when I was messaging Jason on Sunday, so I gotta go back to my
message on
Sunday to get my bad list. For those who know, okay, cool.
Oh shit. For both of us, it was Latu, Moody, and the trade-led offense in general. We're not just gonna, there is some stuff with Trey, but you gotta give it across the whole offense.
Yeah. I believe the offense as a whole struggled, but especially the easiest way to adjust to that, I feel, is by great quarterback play.
Yeah.
Because you analyze, that's the thing that's most concerning, is that like minus the one drive, basically 2 drives, the touchdown drive. Let's be real, that's a pick. Like if that's not basically a UPS driver back there, how you doing,
brother?
That's a pick. But like you said with Kinlaw, the praise, right? And I had seen it. Trey was a great improved quarterback. The mechanics look better. But the problem that I had with Trey is it's the stuff we've been seeing. I had said all offseason, hey, look, we're all operating under the assumption that Trey Lance has not got any better, right? For those who believe that Trey is a bust, trade should be traded, whatever, And we had seen it in practice, but unlike, Cameron Lontu, unlike the depth of the offensive line, it showed up in practice, but it did not translate to the game. He looked panicky. He looked shaky.
Well, and let's be honest, part of that came from the O-line. But
I think he started getting some happy feet. I think I don't want to say seeing ghosts. I don't want to go because that's some serious shit when you start saying, accuse a quarterback of seeing ghosts. That has serious consequences, career-ending consequences, possibly. But
he just looks a little slow and
so skittish.
With the running, he looked heavy-footed.
Somebody had brought it up on a comment in a post or in a comment in a video I watched or whatever, and somebody was like, hey, are we going to say Trey with the first-team offensive line?
Well, I think there's been tons of people asking that same question. Like, if you ever follow Ted Talks Ball, who's also on YouTube and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, really good content creator, he has been beating that to death for like the last month or so. It's like, look, we want to see how Trey, we need Trey to develop. We need to see him with the best available players on the team, not just the second or third team. We need to see him up front with Kittle, with Samuel, with B.A. We need all of that there, or else what are we doing with him?
I mean, because let's be real. Trey's not at the level where he can rise above a shaky offensive line, suspect tight end play, suspect receiver play. I was actually impressed with the running backs. I thought TDP looked real nice. I think,
and they didn't help out Trey either. Like, who was it that dropped the ball?
The pass protection.
They dropped that screenplay where Trey just.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of who.
I can't think who it was. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but like I said, it was right in his hands, and he caught that ball. That was a good 20 yards. There was nobody, and he had everybody in front of him.
So the offense as a whole. Now, do I think that this is guaranteed that Trey Lance is a bust? No. What I am fired up to see, and what I would do if I was Trey's advisor, Trey's coach, a mentor, a friend, or whatever, will say, okay, well, now this is a baseline, and you're only as good as your last performance.
Yeah.
So what do you do now? Well, ultimately, do you will under pressure and regress or stay the same, whatever, and then I think that you pretty much have your answer on who's the backup, because we'll get to Sam Darnold when we get to our positives. Because I gotta eat a little bit of crow. I think. I think a little bit, but
I wasn't impressed with him. I mean, he did okay, but we also set a running game. We did a lot more for a running game than we did for Darnold, and I understand that we're trying to push fast forward on the develop Trey Lance train. I completely understand that. But if we're just going to keep dropping him back constantly, one, that's not typically the style of football that this team is built to play. And two, if we know that we're just going to go back there and just keep slinging it, they're going to keep gunning for him.
So then is Kyle like – okay, so because did we run once on that first drive?
No, I don't think we ran anything the first two drives.
And I understand you go 3 and out. And I understand if Kyle looked at you and said, okay, fine, first down, we're coming out, we're slinging it. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you take a sack. That's already, you're already behind the 8 ball there. You have to pass on second down in theory. And what? I mean, wasn't it incomplete? So now you went from,
first and 10,
you essentially put yourself by taking that sack on first down, especially that first drive, you essentially put yourself in the hole automatically, where you essentially had to run 3 passes. Now, had we converted that third down and didn't get that second sack on the first drive, maybe the next 3 plays are run plays.
Could be.
But are you truly, because is Kyle putting Trey in the best position, saying, I have my second unit offensive line out there? Offensive line that's built to run block. But, yeah, I'm putting my quarterback in the position. We'll get to that in a second here.
He's next on the list.
But I kind of put this on Kyle a little bit. Because did he put Trey Lance in the best position to succeed on Sunday? I don't think so.
No. Play calling did not help him at all. But like I said, I mean, there was a few things with Trey where I thought he could have gotten the ball out where, like you said earlier, he was hesitant on some throws.
And there was flat.
Not even that. There was a couple times where we had Ayuk, and I'm sorry, and I've heard some people say, "Oh, this person wasn't open." I'm sorry. In the NFL, those throws are open. Like there was a couple of outs, and I think there was a post in there where the guy wasn't, 4 steps, 4 yards behind. But I'm sorry, on some of those throws, those are open in the NFL.
You got to throw the ball.
Yeah, on those ones, because there was one where he had, I forget who it was in the slot, but the linebacker that was going towards that air to where he was throwing, but he had his back completely, he wasn't looking left or right. He was completely parallel, looking straight. He would have not known whether the ball was on his left side, right side, anything. So you could have easily thrown it, on the left side of him because he was breaking that way. And, so I mean, again, he's got to make those throws. But again, the offensive line sucked. The drop balls by some of these guys. Dwelly did look like the best tight end on the team.
And this is why Ross Dwelly, they said on the Niner broadcast. I don't know what broadcast you got up there in Seattle.
I'm watching a stream. I have to watch the goddamn Raiders broadcast.
Yeah. But they said that's why Ross Dwelly makes his football team is because they trust him. It was after the
I believe it, yeah.
And it's just what you're going to get with Ross Dwelly. And what have I always told you, Jason? Coaches will tell you, I'll take whatever skill level at a certain point, as long as I know what I'm getting from you on a consistent basis, I can work around whatever deficiencies you have as a player.
Yeah.
And that's what coaches want. So what you're going to get from Ross. He's reliable. They trust him. And so I'm going to let you say the name, 88.
Kugamagi. I've never actually seen it pronounced.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's actually Islander or not, to be honest. He might just be Italian with that shit.
Okay, cool. But not to seem racist, I'm just going to assume some type of Islander until proven wrong.
I mean, like I said, he could just be like me. Like, me, I am Samoan half, and look at me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know, 99% of the people would be like, oh, shut up.
You've met my girl. Would you believe she's a quarter Chilean?
Honestly, seeing her, yeah, I could see. I mean, if you told me she was anything of like olive skinned, like maybe like a French or Portuguese or something like that, I would believe it. I could see it. She has the bone structure of someone from there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, her grandpa was from Chile, but her dad's dad. But anyway, so it was a very second unit performance. That's why if people will ask, my girl was like, how you feel? Of course, I fucking hate to lose. I've never been like, I'm sorry. I believe in the mentality of you say when we step on this field, I expect to win, regardless of whatever preseason practice, whatever it is.
Because it was the Raiders. If it had been the Patriots, it's like, whatever, but it's the fucking Raiders.
Yeah, so my wife has red hair.
Have you seen the beard, brother? So your wife is
gray.
Is part Samoan? Well, I know it's just getting gray with the rest of it. But yeah, shut up. I know I'm getting old, man.
Hey, bro.
If your wife is from Hawaii, if she's part Hawaiian, is she from Hawaii? Because I'm just curious where she's from.
Like you see it a little here. I got a few white hairs.
Yeah, I'm just curious where she's from in Hawaii.
Yeah, let us know. But I call it my redhead Hawaiian.
Yeah. So shall we?
But yeah. Anyway, so
shall we pull up Bryant's favorite person?
Yeah. Let's bounce to Jake Moody. But yeah, overall, I'm curious to see where Trey bounces back from this, which I think he can. And I think this next game is going to tell us a lot about Trey Lance. Now on to Moody. Am I concerned? No. I'm not concerned because this is opposite of what I've seen in practice. So I feel like I'm going to more rely on what I've seen at practice being true than 2 kicks in a preseason game, which one was a 58-yarder where what was a 58-yarder, which let's be real, Kyle strictly just took it because he took fuck Jason, you threw me off.
Put it this way, everybody was immediately calling Robbie Gould, which I wouldn't necessarily be against per se. 58 field goal, we sure as fuck we ain't trying that with Robbie Gould.
That's what I was gonna say. Kyle did that because it was strictly preseason.
Yeah, he was just
why not? Let's see if he makes it.
The only problem was he wasn't even in the same area code. That's the only issue.
How bad it was. And what did I say? Jake Moody was hitting, but he had a tendency to hook. Yep. They weren't going right down the middle.
So, I mean, if he had bounced it off or been a couple of short, I don't think anybody would have even cared. And he was also he was close to missing the field goal as well. Yeah, like I said, he pulled him hard. So, but I mean, I don't care. like I said, until we get to week 1 and all of a sudden there's an issue with him still doing it, then okay, now we can start questioning everything with using a 3rd round pick on him, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, whatever.
I mean, the 3rd round pick spent. I guarantee you, Kyle would use no sleep cutting Jake Moody and keeping Zach Gonzalez.
No, if you had to cut either of the 3rd rounders from right now, him or Latu, yeah, I would not be. Like you said, I don't think he'd lose any sort of sleep, and we would just go back. Again, we would still have Braden Willis to fall back on for as far as a rookie when it comes to tight ends. So.
I would love to keep Latu in the practice squad.
Yeah, but he's not going to get through.
Or if there's a way that, like, it was like baseball, we could just send him down to the minors.
I'm hoping one day the XFL turns into the minor leagues, man, now that it's associated with the NFL. So maybe someday we'll get something like that.
That's what it's all. I promise you, we're just the right amount of money away from that happening.
Oh, yeah.
And really, I think that would be best for baseball. I think that would be better for baseball. That would be better for football. I really do.
Well, yeah, because then you get guys to play
think,
and develop a little bit.
Too, I think you would see a lot, like there would be a lot of entrance into the league. You would see a lot more success.
Yeah, especially these younger quarterbacks.
You would know a lot faster. You would know about Trey.
Could you imagine if Trey had a year in minor leagues per se? If he only threw what? How many hundred? Just maybe a couple hundred in college.
Even ideally, just send him down there this year.
Nah,
and just say, hey,
that.
We'll roll into year 4.
Yeah, it's past that. At this point, he has to win, or he has to develop.
But I mean,
he has to play. That's just that
simple. So, yeah. He has to play, which is why ultimately I think we're going to see pretty soon. It might already be to the point where personally, the best thing for Trey Lance personally is probably to go to a different team. The Niners aren't invested. The Niners are no longer invested in the Niners' sole purpose is no longer to develop Trey Lance. That's secondary.
Yeah,
you're seeing it now. You're seeing it by Brock exclusively taking reps with the ones when he's out there. And now with the announcement that he's no longer has he'll have no days off. He's full go.
Yeah, basically even less reps.
When is Trey ever going to practice with the ones?
I think today he got.
I mean, maybe some.
I'm not sure once, but I think he got 6 reps, and then Darnold got 5, and then everything else went to Purdy. I think is what it was.
All right, you want to switch on to Good real quick, and then.
Yep. We can stick on the. We got Jair Brown, who definitely what I liked about him is he's actually tackling. You know what I mean? How you doing, CJ? Thank you for showing up, brother. It was nice to see somebody who didn't arm tackle, head dive at somebody. Mm-hmm. Like when he tackled somebody, he wrapped up. He got you know what I mean? So it's good to see that because I think it was Dwelly who caught a pass later and then someone all they did was put their shoulder down on him. They didn't try and tackle him. And what did he do? He just spinned right out of it and got like another 6 or 7 yards. And the way Jair Brown tackles, we're not going to get that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think a football farm league would be great. That would be amazing. I don't think everybody said Jair Brown's going to be somebody that's going to show up in games because he wants to hit. And that his game is you just can't see his game in practice.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything that made me think, oh my god, anything
because
like that. Because he can
actually hit in games.
But I will say this: that tackle against the goal line, that was impressive.
That was a good tackle.
He can
play.
I
love the way he wrapped up and brought him down.
I think definitely with that play right there, and knowing what we saw in OTAs and what the coaches have seen and everything like that, I'm comfortable playing. I'm comfortable playing three safety sets.
Yeah,
and seeing Jair play some Brown plays him a little bit this year, especially like run downs and things of that nature.
Yep.
Next,
Ambry Thomas looked good. You know,
good on you, Ambry.
Because we had pretty much written him off, and he played good enough to where I want to say I saw somewhere where he actually got some reps at number 1 in practice today. So I mean, my bad. He showed up. You know, maybe all this, you know, with Wilkes coming over and him being, you know, the, you know, DB
secondary
whisperer, or however, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's starting to show with Ambry. Maybe he just needs a new perspective to see things, but definitely good to see that, you know, he's definitely improved so far. And like I said, he definitely showed up on quite a few plays on Sunday.
No, and it was really, really good to see. You know, they've getting to a little bit who wasn't necessarily on our bad list, but didn't look great is Isaiah Oliver. Both Kyle Shanahan after the game and Steve Wilkes both said, yeah, he's not a starter, you know, or at least a guaranteed starter. It is just, there's very much a competition at the nickel spot. As there's been some talks, depending on Ambry, that on in nickel set that we could switch Ambry, we could switch Diamador Lenore inside and bring Ambry Thomas as the second corner. Yeah, that's really encouraging.
Isaiah just got turned around and burned on one play. I was like, ouch.
Oh yeah. That touchdown was I mean, I hate to say this because you're not going to play a platoon at nickel.
No.
But I would love it in like an Eric Reed type role where he'd be a linebacker because he's clearly big. And I think he'll be fine in the run. But when you think of Cooper Kupp, you know, and some of the players that we're going to say, DK Metcalf, some of the players that we're going to have to play in the slot this year. I mean, I think he can get exposed a little bit in coverage.
And I did watch the Seahawks preseason game. Mm-hmm. That rookie wide receiver looked good. Not even gonna lie, he looked good. So
well, look, I mean, majority of preseason, you know, guesses are Niners are going to win the division, all that. But there's been some people who've been like, "Look, bruh, look out."
Yeah, there's been quite a few people.
And the fact of playing them later in the year, is, you know, who knows how healthy we'll be at that point, knock on wood. You know, what we're going through in that season. You and I have both talked about that basically you're going to have, you know, them, Eagles, and them. Isn't that how it's them, Eagles, them, right?
Yes.
Let me see. Yeah, so that's relatively dangerous. It is. That is how the schedule goes. So I'm not liking that 3-game stretch. Not necessarily that we can't even go 3-0 in there or whatever like that, but the physicality.
The back and forth sucks.
Too. And the physicality of those games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna go from Seattle to Philly, and then back home to Santa Clara. Yeah, so you know, this might be a year that they make a little bit of noise, and if they play us at the right time, you know.
The last good spot that we both talked about was Ronnie Bell. I like the way he played wide receiver. Basically, you're a Juwan Jennings clone, a little bit faster. That ball that Darnold threw to him down the sideline, that was a good catch. Good ball, good throw by Darnold, and a good catch by Ronnie Bell. But even with Ray out, I did not like what I saw with him as a return man.
No. Who was the other returner? I can't think of the name right. It was that undrafted corner.
Yeah, I can't think of who was.
Is that undrafted? Let me look up the
Deshaun Jameson.
Deshaun Jameson. There you go. I mean, look, for what I saw, and you know, I didn't really see much at practice or whatever like that. I think he should be the returner. But as far as who's the replacement at receiver for Ray?
Oh, Ronnie. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw absolutely nothing to think that it could be Ronnie Bell. And I'm curious to see Paging Danny Gray.
Yeah, did he play at all Saturday? Camp. And, I don't think he even got in the field.
He did not suit up. He I think it was his oblique or something was tight.
Okay.
before they left for the Raiders game or for the practices. And
Okay.
it only got tighter once they came, so he wasn't able to suit up. Paging Danny Gray, you can't make the club if you're in the tub.
Yeah.
Because Tay Martin and Danny Bell are making,
And Conley.
making plays, and Conley. Willie Snead.
Yeah. Everybody but I've heard everything from every receiver in camp
But
Danny Gray. So, I mean, there's that. So, I mean, he's almost at this point, it almost looks like he's on the outside looking in.
I mean, we'll start to get. I think that we'll start to get a feeling after that. That was the last good.
Yep, that was everything.
All right. So overall, the feeling from this game is zero fucks given. Like if that's the Niners starting offense and starting defense for any game this season, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like we all know that. We all know that. And I felt like yesterday was how I felt like at a certain point during 2020, where I was like, yeah, you know what? We're projected to be a Super Bowl playoff team. And why is that? Because, we have Kittle Corn, we have Debo, we have Brandon Ayuk, CMC, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, the law firm,
B&B.
BBB, law firm of B&B. Why are Bosa and Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Hargrave, and zero of those players were on the field yesterday. Like literally zero.
Yeah.
So at least to me to have any type of concern for the season, I at least have to see the starters out there. Now, if the starters play 2 series and it looks that bad, or 3 series on Saturday, I'll be there. I'll be there Saturday. If you're going to be there Saturday, holla at your boy.
Well, I believe you and Brian are supposed to hook up.
Yeah. Me and Brian will hook up. I got his number.
Gotta go look for your girl Teresa Bailey too. Oh, she preseason.
Oh no,
I thought she was going to the game this week. I jumped the gun on that one.
So also, she reminded me right now. 88, 89, and 94. The Niners lost the first preseason game, and something tells me the season turned out all right those 3 times. So like. It's like, look, literally. Now, if the team comes out and plays 4 drives on Sunday and Brock those 2 pick sixes, and like, okay, then we have something to talk about next Tuesday because at least we've seen our starters. At least we've seen the players that are like, hey, this is why we believe that we'll bring home number 6 this year. But until that point, I can't take this game seriously as far as my projection into the season. Now, I can analyze the depth of this team. I can analyze certain players. But as far as my confidence of the season, I give 2 fucks.
I mean, at the most, it was like, that looks a little suspect. But, I mean, it was pretty much just, I raised an eyebrow, seeing what's going on. It's like, okay, that's different. That's not what I expected. How you doing, Ricky Diaz? Thank you for showing up.
Thank you, brother.
But the people who are just, just thinking that this team is absolutely crumbled, and I've seen all sorts of stuff. And
I mean,
pick your social media, fire Shanahan, Trey's a bust, this, blah, 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 destroy the whole team, whatever. But I mean, it's like, come on, dude. We're talking about practice. We're talking about preseason, week 1 with before anything really goes to, you know what I mean?
I mean, we don't even have our best player on the team right now.
Yeah.
Like, so, at least have our starters play and then have some issues. And then we have something to talk about, I feel. But as far as the game overall, okay. I did not know that. Actually, a good one. Redskins, Bills, Giants all went winless in the preseason and still went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did not even know that. But yeah. The year the Lions went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason.
Yeah, they win all their games in the preseason.
So it's like it's zero fucks given. Now, if the same things are continuously showing up,
the starters are doing those same issues, then we'd have a problem.
these things are, Jake Moody's shanking every kick that he's got. Okay, maybe we got some issues.
Yeah. But right now, meh.
Kinlaw's getting shoved down. That's an issue only because they're not depending on Javon. They're not depending on Kinlaw
You can't get him differentiate him, can you?
For some reason, right now I could not. They're not depending on Kinlaw for a significant role, but you have to depend on him for something.
Yeah, he's got to be a good rotational piece that we can count on.
Some type of snaps, bro. I need some type of snaps because do you go ultimately? Everybody keeps on thinking 9 DN or 9 D linemen. You go 5 D. You go 5 tackles, 4 ends, or 5 ends, 4 tackles.
5 ends.
5 ends.
Well,
so you got what? Hargrave, Armstead, what? Givens, and Kinlaw.
I mean, you want your biggest kind of guys up there, so I mean that would be those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they did practice a week and a half ago. They had that 5-man front where I'm like, let's do it. I would love to see.
I do not understand why we have not done that before.
We've got some big boys on the team. Just make it a 5.
Especially if you could. Yeah, that is something that definitely, that is something that if you ask me what the number one, bro, I hope it was the man not playing that much football and everything like that, because like you look at Javon Kinlaw and you say, how are you not an all fucking pro?
Yeah, he's just
how are you not a monster?
Monster, yeah. Well, he is a monster.
Well, he's a monster.
Physically,
how are people able to do what they do to you, bruh?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how many times where I saw him just getting stood up. I'm like, get low. Like, Kasurik's just got to, like, beat him on the back, like, just get low. Like, anytime he gets up, just start beating him in the back.
You know what I would make him
shoulder
do?
pads.
All practice. Just walk underneath, the net they make the linebackers go under?
Yeah.
Just all practice, make them walk
We used to do, I'm pretty sure most guys do, some high schools do that. We used to do line drills to where there was like a cage almost, and then there was a wooden board underneath. You were not, anytime you hit the board, 10 push-ups throughout the entire practice. Anytime you touch that board, because you were supposed to stay low. And yes, it wasn't a little bit of an exaggeration with how low they actually wanted you, but you learned to stay low. Like he just needs to learn to walk. Like remember in what was that? The program where Omar Epps was the running back, and they made him walk around school all day with the football, and do that. We need to teach Javon Kinlaw to like low crawl everywhere. Like he goes everywhere in a bear crawl. That's what we need to do.
I don't get it. But I mean, Nick Bosa's coming back. I mean, I have zero concerns after this game as far as the team. Now the depth, that was alarming. How they just literally went up the gut, like through the heart of our defense. But you didn't have Bam Bam and Law Dog out there. Something tells me Fred Warner ain't allowing you to run up the gut too many times. So I'm not concerned.
Again, like I said, even with all this criticism for all these guys, I'm not too crazy about it. Even with, like I said, I got excited about Kinlaw only because I really liked Kinlaw and that draft pick and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I get a little overexcited about it. Same thing with Trey. I know I get a little bit overexcited with Trey, but, I mean, anybody who watched the show back then, you saw how much I pushed Trey that whole offseason, that whole draft thing. You can go back and watch the selection of Trey, how I reacted. I reacted like a 12-year-old at a Backstreet Boy concert.
Yeah, and that's why we don't hide the fact that we're fans, bro. That it's okay to be like that because we don't say that we're analysts. We're fanalists. So that's why we do that. I mean, look, y'all see me, man. I'll never forget. I'll never forget how hyped I was before the NFC Championship game on that pregame show. I mean, the people in the comments had me dead. I mean, I was ready to run through a brick wall, bro. Whew. Anyway, all right, y'all. Well, Jason, final thoughts.
It only sucks that we lost to the Raiders. Everything else, whatever. We'll see what happens. I do want to give a shout out to everybody who was here. Brian showed up early. Bebop, Berto showed up. Who else was here? Carcass showed up. CJ Ruthless. We got Rick Diaz, Steve-O. I want to say, Bryant, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys go on your show later on tonight at 7. I want to say it's 7 o'clock with you guys. So, yeah, and then Carcast, also the 49ers content creator. I've watched some of his breakdowns of other team stuff. He's got good stuff. And, of course, CJ, we all know CJ does good work.
Yeah. See, of course.
So drop all your guys' links down there so we can push them.
Yeah, everybody drop your links, do all that good stuff. Rick Diaz, I mean, who you telling, brother? Who you telling? Yeah, love y'all. Thank y'all
you,
for. I see y'all posting on the. We see y'all comments. I see the interactions on social media and everything. Everything's going all the way up. I am trying my hardest to work on getting season 3 of For the Faithful by the Faithful apparel out and ready. We're only going to do a few shirts this year, so it's going to be nothing crazy. But yeah, other than that, we'll see y'all next week. All right, Jason.
We'll talk to y'all. All right, I'm still going to do the halftime show, by the way.
Yeah. I will also. Matter of fact, Brian, message me on DM me on Twitter. Let's just do the pregame show together when we link up on Saturday. He said he's going to be there before noon. I think he said. Ooh.
Let me know if you're in Seattle, bro.
That's kind of a deep commitment. Isn't it a 5:30 game? There before noon for a 5:30 game. That's a lot of tailgate.
That's a good pregame right there, man. That's when you take the nap before the game and everything.
Oh yeah. No show tonight.
Oh, I thought it was tonight that was or was that last night? I don't know who knows this. I spent all day yesterday in the hospital. I had a little medical emergency, so I'm kind of out on everything right now. I don't know, TJ. I don't even know if you realize that. So I
saw JB be like, "Okay, I hope you're okay."
Yeah, I was actually in the hospital. I went ambulance ride and everything yesterday. So
wow,
I'm kind of out of everything.
You good, guys?
Yeah. I mean, put it this way, it's not the heart. They know they figured that I did 9 billion tests and there's nothing wrong with my heart. The problem is they have no idea what the hell's wrong with me. So we'll talk about it later. But yeah, so I'm not. I saw something with Brian's stuff about 7 o'clock, just scrolling through when I was at the hospital and everything. So
all right, well, relax, rest, my friend. We'll see y'all next week.
So there it is. It's tomorrow night.
There you go.
See, I knew I saw something about 7 o'clock.
All right, we got it. All right, bro.
All right, deuces.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We shall see y'all next Tuesday. I will be live. We'll try to figure out where we're gonna do the pregame, all that type of jazz. Before we get out of here. Wait, what did I make? What did I make? Y'all gonna forgive me. I forgot what I made. End the quest. There you go. So your 10% coupon code.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl.
Your season 2 10% coupon code is End the Quest. Oh man, it's been that type of day. I'm going to the Red Zone rally. Oh, okay. Of course, help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link will be in the description of this podcast or video. Go to cgiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sport event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. And to see everywhere to subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. We shall see y'all next week. See y'all Saturday. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
See ya.